Welcome to That Seasonaire podcast. I'm your host Gina. Stick with me as I chat to seasonaires, expats and adventurers across the world, sharing their inspiring stories and interesting insights into living and working abroad. On today's show, I catch up with Seasonaire turned computer programmer, South Africa's finest, Chelsea van der Merwe. How much snowboarding had you done prior to this point, or skiing?
Literally like a week. I went away with my family to Livigno, and that was the first time I've actually seen snow. That was in 2008.
Wow.
And this is 2012, like four years later. So like none, literally none.
Chelsea came in to share her story of how she went from Contiki tours to seasons in Greece and Austria. Tune in as Chelsea shares her spontaneous story, and stick with us right to the end of the show as Chelsea tells us how she went from being paid in snowboards as a writer to writing code as a digital nomad. Just a quick shout out before we start the show. This episode is supported by Dope Snow. Check the show notes below to join their community and find out more about their upcoming events this winter. Here's the show. Chelsea, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I can't wait to hear your story because apparently there's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't know about you. So I am looking forward to this one. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and what is your current situation?
So I'm from South Africa, and yeah, I'm in Mayrhofen, Austria, obviously. And I booked a one-way flight, literally. I had some plans that I was waiting to figure out what happened, and yeah, we can talk about that, but here I am.
Into that. Awesome. Yeah. I bumped into you when you first got here at the premiere for Local Desire, which is Bernie Stock's film. And at that point, I had no idea you were arriving. It was just a delight to see you stood in front of me after all these years, because we met many years ago on my first season in Mayrhofen, which I think was 14, 15.
Same as mine, actually, I think. I think 14, the same thing. But yeah, I didn't really tell anyone about it. And then it was that day that I landed. I think at 5 o'clock I got into Mayrhofen. And then I was with my housemate, Sandra, and her boyfriend, catching up. And they're like, well, there's a premiere, let's go. Cool. And then, yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
Really good film.
What sparked your initial idea to leave your home country and go and live and work abroad?
It was really spontaneous. I think as we talk a bit more, you'll realize that's kind of how my life happens. But I finished studying and I have an Irish passport. And before that, I was given a really great birthday present, which was to go on this tour for a company called Contiki. And I think it came from there because I loved it. I loved traveling through Europe. I loved seeing the different places. So when I finished and graduated that same month, I said to my parents, okay, cool, I'm leaving. I'm going overseas. Like, bye. So
but they were thrilled.
They couldn't really stop me. So that was that. Yeah, I applied to work for that company because I thought it was so great. And the lady who was my tour manager, she actually said to me, you should be, I forgot what they told us, but we're on-site Contiki advisors or whatever we were. She said, you should apply for that job. And yeah, that sparked the interest. So I did. Then I got the job, but that started in April. And I just wanted to go. I was like itching to go. So when I was on the tour, I bumped into someone who was from Zimbabwe, which is a country in Africa. My mom's from Zim. So we're kind of like kindred spirits. We're like, well, why are we both in this country? This is amazing. Let's be best friends. So we kept in contact. And then I said to him, hey, I got the job in Contiki. And he's like, well, that's so cool. When do you start? And the training was in April. And I told him I'm coming to Europe in December. And he said, well, there's a job going up in a place called Niederau. Why don't you come and do a season? And it literally never crossed my mind before because I'm from South Africa where it's super hot and dry and there's deserts and beaches and that's it. Never snows, actually, ever. And I thought, yeah, let's do that. So I applied for the job that he recommended and I got that job.
Wow.
And that was it.
Awesome. So just tell us a little bit about the tour, first of all, the Contiki tour.
Yeah, there's different kinds of tours, but we did the one which takes you through 9 different countries in 21 days. So you stop maximum 2 days over at a country and you do everything that you can in a day or 2 days. Sightsee in the morning with 50 people.
Wow.
In your same age. And you can just imagine we're traveling on this bus. So I went with my best friend at the time. And that was just so much fun. We met so many people, bonded. It was great.
That's so cool. And then you met this guy. He suggests, and you've already decided you're going to go and work for Contiki, and you've applied for the job.
Yeah.
And this guy suggests, well, in that time, before that happens, why don't you do a snow season, a ski season?
Yeah.
How much snowboarding had you done prior to this point, or skiing?
Well, water skiing, but that doesn't count. But literally like a week, I went away with my family to Livigno, and that was the first time I've actually seen snow. That was in 2008.
Wow.
And this is 2012, like four years later. So like none, literally none.
So you just thought, yeah, I'll use my time now in Niederau, I'll go and do a season. What were you doing there?
The job was at a hotel, and that was like doing service. So we do the breakfast in the morning and then the dinner service in the evening. And during that time in the day, we go riding. I mean, riding, like I was doing falling leaf and thought that was snowboarding. I thought I was so cool, but it's not. I mean, little unbeknown to me, it's a whole different thing. But yeah, picked it up and then loved it. And that was it.
We heard a bit about Niederau during Chris Kite's episode. And his first holidays were over in Niederau, and he said it's a bit of a family resort.
It's really cool that someone else knows about it, because I thought like it's a tiny resort, but that's what makes it so great. And the locals were so cool, and the Seasonaires were really nice as well. And then there's like a community, and you just stay there, and I think I was working and tired, and that didn't matter, because you go up in the mountain and there's maybe, I can't even remember, 3 lifts or something. You do the same run. You could do that like 12 times in a day, not more, because it's the same thing. But it was so much fun.
For anyone that doesn't know, Niederau is a resort in Austria, not too far from here. But did you find that there was enough to do, like social wise, like meeting other Seasonaires, etc.?
Yeah, there was definitely. There were a few people. So the fact that it was family orientated, or like targeted to families, that's not the impression that I got. I thought it was a mixture of everything, to be honest. You got to know the local people there as well, and there's a lot of people, and then the Seasonaires. And yeah, I think you're just developing friendships and getting to know people. And 4 months, or however long a season isn't enough time to like really solidify. So it's still a lot, and still new, and so much fun. And yeah.
And what was your accommodation situation like in Niederau?
Well, because the hotel kind of gave us free accommodation and food, but then I don't think we were on their top priority of, I don't know, living quarters. Because we're like 4 young girls, like just out there to like, easygoing young. So I'm sure that they catered to the elder people in a different way. But we were living in a house was built on a hill, like slanted. And there were 4 of us crammed into this tiny house. If I show you a picture, you'd be like, what? Why? But I'm not exaggerating, and this literally did happen, and I'm not making it up. But the table was slanted, and I distinctively remember having a bowl of cereal on the table, and the milk spilled out because it was slanted. Like
The whole house was
the whole house was like built on a slope, and we were shoved into that house, all 4 of us. Like, here you go, this is the leftovers, have fun. But we didn't really care. It was really cool.
Awesome. So you enjoyed that season anyway?
Yeah, definitely. That was the start of everything, and that's what made me keep coming back.
Amazing. So then after Niederau, you were then going to work for Contiki. Whereabouts were you going to work?
We were put onto this training tour, and obviously you're stationed in different parts of Europe. And I think because I had done a season, they stationed me in Austria in a place called Hopfgarten, which is close to Westendorf, very close to Niederau actually, just below the mountain. It's a chalet, and I worked there with 18 other people, and we were youngsters. Something sounds so old, but we were running the place essentially. Like, we were looking after the clients, cleaning, doing everything. Yeah, cooking.
Yeah, so what was your job?
Yeah, that they decided to, because I apparently work really well under pressure, which I only found out during that training camp, but it's probably because I was so tired and couldn't be bothered to do anything else. They made me the chef. That was my position. And like, these buses would come in and they'd rotate every second day. So sometimes it'd be up to about 250 people, and you'd cook the same meal for 250 people.
Wow. So
I became really good at making schnitzel, because that's a very Austrian dish, and for some unknown reason, roast pork. So I made that like for 5 months every day.
What? The same 2 dishes?
Yeah, because they rotate.
Wow.
And they're not going to know. So yeah. We did.
So you did your season in, where did you say, Hopfgarten?
Yeah.
What was the plan after that?
I didn't really have a plan. I wanted to go back to Niederau because I really liked it there and I really enjoyed the people and the Seasonaires and everything about it. But then during that time, I became really good friends with someone from the UK and we decided to go traveling in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you did a second season in Niederau?
Yeah. The same hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Same
okay.
slanted house.
Same everything.
Yeah. And then she said, let's go to Greece.
Okay.
I thought, why not?
So you did your second season in Niederau. Anything different about that season?
I think after that, I kind of wanted to go somewhere. I don't know how to explain it, but I wanted to see more. Because once it bites you, there's like, you know that there's something out there and people start talking about different resorts and different places. So your imagination goes wild. So I was like, okay, cool. But I really want to incorporate what I've studied, which was fashion design. Super random because now I'm in computers. But I want to incorporate fashion design into snowboarding. So I can't remember who it was, but this individual said to me, why don't you work for a magazine or why don't you get into snowboard clothing? I'm from South Africa and I'm going to use that, but I never really knew about the industry. So when I did get into it, which is when I applied for this internship that I found, working for a magazine called Board Sports Source, and I applied for that job, and then I got that job, which started in the autumn after I went to Greece.
Okay, so you went to Greece after that?
Yeah, I went to Greece, worked at a beach bar. I literally walked across the beach to get to work from where we were staying every morning.
Wow.
It was amazing. Unfortunately, Greece was going through their recession at that time. So because we'd both done a winter season and we were planning on doing another one, we just didn't know where yet, we realized quickly that we couldn't save enough money that we wanted to because of the recession and everything. And the job wasn't that great. So we decided to then go back to the UK to try and make up the money or the chance to be able to save what we wanted to. So then we moved back to the UK, and she's from Devon. She stayed in Devon, and then I moved to London, which is where the magazine was. The individual his name is Harry, the editor, he was in London, so I thought, I'm going to London. It makes sense. The thing is, it was an internship, so I wasn't getting paid for that. So I worked at an outdoor store, and that was in Wandsworth in London. So I was working for the outdoor store during the day and the magazine at night and editing the articles when I can or could. And then they advanced me to write articles, which I did, which was really interesting.
Wow, cool.
But I was being paid in snowboards.
Oh.
I know.
What?
I mean, I love it. That's great.
You moved to London to do that and then they paid you in snowboards?
Well, I was an intern, so I think, yeah, they did. No jokes. I got a snowboard. Wow. Yeah.
That's actually really impressive that you managed to do an internship in London, which isn't a cheap place to live, because you wanted to be in that industry for no pay and then would go and work at an outdoor sports type shop?
Cotswolds.
Oh, okay.
Do you know of Cotswolds?
No, I don't.
I said it like you would, because you're from UK, which is so stereotypical of me. I'm sorry. Like, you should know that.
I'm so offended.
You're from the UK.
I'm not so offended. But yeah, it's just, yeah, well done. Like, and then they wanted you to write for them.
I loved the writing part. It was market intelligence, so I would gather like information about the industry at the time for different countries and like see where they were economically and write about that. And I wasn't there for that long because then, I couldn't afford. I mean, London is, as you just said, super expensive, and the snowboard thing was still in me, and I really wanted to do it again. But that's where Mayrhofen came from, because Clive, who founded the magazine, Clive Ripley, he told me about Mayrhofen, and we had a conversation about like where the magazine came from, and he worked for Onboard magazine.
Okay.
He started with that as well, and he told me the whole story about where that originated from, and it was from Mayrhofen, basically. A bunch of people from here. I could be wrong, but that for some reason sticks in my memory. And so that was like one of the best places of where snowboarding started in Austria, apparently. And I thought, I have to check this out. So again, I didn't know where to start. So I started researching, like, where's the best bars, because obviously that's one of the easiest places, or the best hotels that you could work for. And Scotty's came up. Scotland Yard pub. Yep.
Yep. Which is where we met.
Yeah, exactly. It's where everybody meets eventually.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So you decided you'd had enough of London.
Had enough of London. Couldn't cut it the way I wanted to. Applied at Scotty's. And then Manu told me that, yeah, I got the job. So I moved to Austria. That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your experience in Mayrhofen. How was your first season over here? Like, obviously you've worked in Austria in Niederau already and in Hopfgarten. Tell us a bit about Mayrhofen and how that compared.
Well, I think, like we spoke about earlier, coming from a family-orientated resort to Mayrhofen, it's not exactly the same.
A little bit different.
A little bit different. And the population in general was higher as well. There's a lot more people and a lot more going on. And I think that was one of the main things for me, was the amount of people that, you know, were expats and seasonaires, whatever you want to call them. There were so many more people here, and it was so much fun as well. And then working for Scotty's and living above the bar was very different to working and living in a slanted house.
Good different or bad different?
No, good different. It was a really good experience, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I met a lot of the friendships I have today is from that place.
Wow.
From Scotty's, yeah.
That's amazing. How many seasons have you done in Mayrhofen since then?
I have done, I think it's 4 seasons. But summer included, so consecutively for 4 years.
Okay, so you were here during summer as well.
I was, yeah.
During the summer seasons, did you still work at Scotland Yard?
Initially, yes. I think I spent 2 summers at Scotty's, and then I actually moved away from Scotty's, and I think I moved out because I was living above the bar, because that's where a lot of the bartenders and people who worked at Scotty's stayed. I moved out into my own place with another friend of mine, and then I worked at a place called Kessel. Don't know how to say that, it's very Austrian. But it's in Zell, which is just a town down from here, and I worked there in the winter. And then in the summer, I worked at Granatalm, which is one of the huts, large, extremely large, huts up on Mayrhofen on Penken. Yeah. And
what were you doing in those jobs?
Scotty's, I was bartending, and then Kessel, I was working apres-ski. It's an apres-ski bar. It's the same thing, but very different.
How does that differ from
Scotty's?
Yeah.
Good question. How do I put this in a way that, let's be safe about it. Scotty's is beanies and like rock and, old school OG kind of snowboarding.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we all wear Vans and we all wear like Converse and stuff. And then Kessel is apres-ski, which is the songs that you can't get out of your head once they start playing for the rest of the day, and everyone comes down from the mountain and just wants to have fun, and that's it. Loud music.
Yeah, so different vibe.
Completely.
But yeah, more of the Johnny Depp type situation than the rock situation.
Exactly.
Awesome. So you were here for 4 seasons, and then what happened after that?
So after those, I kind of went back to SA to study again. I decided to change because it wasn't really working out the season, the industry snowboard thing. And I was getting not tired, but I wanted more than working in bars. So I went back to SA to study because I also didn't want to pursue fashion design.
Okay. Is there a reason you didn't want to pursue that anymore, or just...
Yeah, I think I grew. And when I grew myself, my interest developed and changed as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think my surroundings, and I think obviously I wasn't the same person that I was when I was younger, and my mother actually designed clothes and was a designer.
Oh, wow.
So I paint and I draw, and I kind of thought to myself, okay, I'm creative. Why not be a fashion designer? And when you're 18 or when you're however young you are, no one actually, that's such a young age to make these huge life decisions.
Definitely.
And you change so much and so drastically from that time until you're like 30. So I obviously changed, and I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. it does blow my mind a bit that at the kind of young age of, I don't know, 16, 17, 18, you're supposed to make a decision on what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Like, that
Exactly.
blows my tiny brain. So yeah, anyway, so you went on your seasons and you've done a lot. You've done a bit of traveling. You've been around, been to London, you've been to Austria, you've been to Greece, you've been to lots of places.
Yeah.
And so your direction changed, basically, what you wanted to do. What was it that you then chose to go and do?
So then I went back to SA and I studied computer science, which is completely different from fashion design.
Mm-hmm. Is there a reason that you chose computer science?
So do you remember when we spoke about spontaneity and how my life doesn't really have a plan? That's again highlighted. The theme is consistent.
Yeah.
I went to the university and I genuinely had no idea. And I knew that I had to do something though, obviously. So I went to a student advisor, and this guy actually changed my future. And I messaged him one day to thank him for this.
Really?
He had no idea what he'd just done for me, but we sat down and he went through all these pamphlets and obviously like the curriculum, what do you call it, the course guide. And he's like, okay, do you want to be an accountant? Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I'm terrible with numbers. That's a hard no. Okay, cool. Do you want to be a teacher? No. I can't even look after myself. How am I supposed to look after kids? So no. Then a lawyer? No. Doesn't suit me. He's like, why not IT? So when I was younger, I kind of, all my friends, it sounds really weird, but I was a gamer. Like
okay.
Old school gaming, like PlayStation and computers, like Sims and all these different games, like Tom Clancy. So nerdy.
So you were a nerd.
I was proud of it. Definitely a nerd.
It never leaves us, does it?
No. And so I was like, yeah, okay, why not? Let's go into computers, because I had all my friends used to call me up when I was younger asking me how to install things. And back in the day when the dial-up tone would ring and you pick up the phone and that tone would cut off your phone call, like that was back then. So I was like, okay, cool, I might have some desire or like interest in computers. Sure, let's go for it. If I don't like it, well, that's that.
Yeah.
And I did.
Oh,
and
wow. Excellent. So what are you doing at the moment, or like what has transpired since then?
I am a software engineer.
Wow.
That's the technical term for it. Yeah, I build software.
So you went to South Africa to go to uni.
Yeah.
And how long was that course?
Well, he actually had a great suggestion. He said there's like I wouldn't say a bridging course, but it's like not like a diploma, but anyway, it's a system software engineering course.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hardware, like motherboards and like actually what a computer is built of. So he said, why don't you do that? If you don't like it, like that's an introduction to what computers are about and IT. So I did that first. That's 1 year. And then I did my degree, which is 3 years.
Wow.
So all in all, it was 4 years. I was studying for back in SA.
That's like quite a move as well to go
Super
from
different.
Yeah, because you go from South Africa, you start traveling.
Yeah.
You then go on all your seasons, or a few seasons, go to London, go on some more seasons, and then you go back to South Africa to do 5 years of study.
Yeah, pretty much.
That must have been a bit of a shock to the system.
Moving home was a shock to the system because, I had to go back and start off from scratch and like be a student when I was 26. And there were some students the same age as me, but majority of the people were like young. Mm-hmm. So it was just, it was a huge adjustment, but I got over it pretty quickly because surrounding yourself with younger people, they have a young mindset, so they keep you in that, and it's kind of fun and light. And I had my friends anyway, so I go study during the day, in the afternoon, and then or in the morning, and then do whatever in the afternoon and work and stuff. And then, very different.
Yeah.
Go back to the city.
Awesome. So you're back here in Mayrhofen. As I say, we bumped into each other on your first day back. What are you doing back? What are you doing? I mean, it's great to have you here, but what are you doing back in Mayrhofen?
Thank you so much. Well, my friend who I live with now currently, she, for the last year, what is that, 2022? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where are we?
Yeah, I don't know. COVID did something. Anyway, 2022, she kept saying to me, come now, come back to Mayrhofen, because we'd have these video calls. And then I moved jobs, changed apartments, moved out of my apartment. All these things happened, and I I kept postponing it. And then finally, now I got a remote job, which I've been working in for a year. And I sold a lot of my stuff. A lot of my stuff I moved to my parents' house, left that apartment, that lease finished. And then I said, cool, yeah, why not? I told you about the spontaneous thing and I decided to come back.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so you came back early December and you've now got, as you say, a remote job. What are you doing in your job at the moment?
Well, I work for a company called Strove, and it's an app, but it's B2B, business to business. So we kind of ensure that employee wellness is important and vital in the company. So this application, you'll track your activities and all your stuff through your watch, smartwatch, so sleep data, all the data that your wearable device gets. We bring that into the application, and then there's so much that gets deduced from that and analyzed. It's going really technical. I'm going to stop that. So it's like companies kind of ensure and can take these insights and like they get displayed. And if your employee is unhappy, you'll see that through their sleep pattern or their activities, like their fitness. It's either high, really high for the last 2 months, or really low, and then something's happening. Why have they gone down? They're listening to less meditations, because we do that. We supply meditations, sleepscapes, all these kind of things. It's really cool. Yeah. So they kind of want to prevent burnout. And after COVID, I think there was the thing where people realized that their lifestyles were kind of, we were going on autopilot and we were pushing too hard. And then COVID happened. I think people kind of realized maybe life doesn't have to be like that. Maybe we can be a little bit more kinder to ourselves and, you know, prioritize family and connection over the other things, which I'm just going to leave it open-ended because I don't want to get into that topic. So yeah, that's what we do.
Cool. So your computer science degree has got you a job working on this app. And what is it that you specifically do for the app?
So I build it.
You build it. So you code?
I'm a programmer, yeah. So what I was working on actually recently is Google Fit. I had to integrate with Google Fit and bring in that data. And it's really cool because it's fitness orientated still. Like I chose a job that I love the outdoors and I love exercising, hence snowboarding, whatever. So I'll like say to the group, my colleagues, okay, I need to go and test it, like what I've just built. I need to go for a run or I need to go for a walk because I need to go test it. So like you're active and actually doing these things.
Wow, cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so you've managed to integrate all your favourite parts of life into your job.
Exactly,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So we're at the present day.
Really random.
Super random, but I love it. So we're at the present day. You're in Mayrhofen. How is the season going for you so far? We're heading to the end of the season now, so how's it been?
I know, I'm so sad. It just went by so quickly. I forgot how much you love it. It's such I love it so much.
Good.
It's been really, really good seeing, because I have friends that I talk more to over the phone from here than I do in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, they're genuine, real friendships. I don't know if it's the lifestyle that created that or the kind of people that come in seasons that are like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's been really good to see those people again and spend time with them and go riding, which I've missed so much.
Yeah. How's it been?
The first day I fell. It's like, what is happening? No, but it's like I never stopped. It's like muscle memory just kicked in, and then it's been 4 years, 5 years, and
wow.
Yeah, back to how it was.
Amazing. So we'll move on to the questions now. And the first one is, if someone was planning to only do one season, where would you recommend them to go and why?
I would definitely say here.
Mayrhofen?
For sure.
Oh, cool. Not Niederau?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, this is like a second home for me.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Niederau, yeah, it's Mayrhofen, definitely.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Short and sweet, to the point. I like it.
It's hard no.
So you've done a few different jobs, worked in a few different places. What was your best job and what was your worst job and why?
The worst job, it was working at a hotel doing service. Honestly, it was really tough. And I don't think it was about the work itself. It was more about the colleagues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were very unhappy. And
Okay.
that kind of trickled down into work. And then even though it was my first 2 seasons, I couldn't understand German for anything. It was body language. It was just a horrible vibe.
Really?
Yeah, so it wasn't great working there, and I didn't enjoy it. And yeah.
And what was your best job?
My best job is probably what I'm doing now. I'm really happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. And it allows you the freedom to go and do things too. So you can work like a digital nomad type situation.
Exactly. Like I was on a call, and then my colleagues are asking about Austria, and I can just turn my laptop and be like, look at that snow. You guys are sitting at home at the office. That's fun. You do you. But this is snow. I'm in Austria. It's really cool.
That's amazing. Where's the company based?
In Cape Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were here during winter and summer.
Yeah.
And you've been to Greece for summer and you've been to a few different places. What do you prefer, winter seasons or summer seasons?
I think it has a lot to do, it should be simple. It's obviously winter. But growing up in SA, there's just summer. And winter is like just dry and cold. So it's very different. Like summer, I was used to summer, but these winter seasons, you get so much from it.
Where was your favourite season and why?
My favorite season was probably my second season in Mayrhofen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's because the first season I was just nervous and like getting used to everything and just meeting people and, working is just a lot for a very short time frame. But once you settled in and you've developed, stronger friendships and relationships with people, it's more substantial, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you kind of had that community vibe.
Yeah.
Once you're settled in and got your core friends and yeah. Where's your favourite place to snowboard?
Mayrhofen for sure. Oh, well, I really do like, what's it called? Selbach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I went there once, but it's really great. It's a really nice resort as well. But if it's for a long term, I'd say Mayrhofen.
What were you doing in Selbach? Just a little breakaway?
We went there to go and see Wolf Mother.
Oh, really?
A festival, yeah.
No
but
way.
We went there for the weekend, and that was just really short. But it was really nice when I went there. It stuck out in my memory.
Cool.
Of all the resorts we've been to, yeah, that was really nice.
Awesome. In your opinion, what's the best thing about season life or being a seasonaire in general?
I think it's kind of like for me, it's the freedom. Because, I don't know, I feel like I'm not under such a strict routine here. I can make my life structured in the way that I want to daily. I can go up the mountain if I want to. I think it's because I come from a city.
Yeah.
And it's just really different. And being a seasonaire, or whatever you want to call it, long-term, I don't know, nomad, it's freeing. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
And can you tell us about a challenge or difficulty you faced during your season journey and what you learned from it?
It's unfortunately financially orientated.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think I was young, so wasn't really clever with money.
I've had a few people on the show who've had similar situations, actually, where they've said that their challenge was monetary.
Yeah, I think it's just being aware and being smarter. But when you're younger, that's why we moved back to London, because we ran out of money in that summer season. And it was kind of like a panic situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we put ourselves there, so that was a hard lesson to learn. I never got into that situation again. But just that was it. When I started living in London, that was really difficult in the beginning. So, but it's a very good lesson, I think, to learn as well. Glad I went through it. In hindsight, it's always a great thing, hindsight. But you kind of, there's a good lesson to learn to be more responsible.
Definitely, yeah. What's one thing you wish you had known before going on your first season?
Well, I would actually have to say that it's it's very cliche. You don't actually let it go. I wish I knew, I don't know, I was thinking about it, like, if I keep coming back, and why, and if I, no, I don't know, that's not the right answer.
You mean you wish you had known that once you go, you never want to go back? Is that what you're saying?
Kinda. Yeah.
Why? Why do you wish you had known that?
I don't know if I would come.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
yeah, it's very different because you've got, like, you're torn between these two places.
Yeah. That is the thing, is like, once you go and do one, it's really hard to stop doing seasons.
I think it's just the relationships and the friendships that you make through them as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to leave those people. And you can't just leave people and cut them out of your life. Be like, hey, bye.
Yeah.
See you when I see you, which is probably never. And now you've got different friends in different parts of the world that you really care about and you love. And it's really hard to, like, not see them or not want to spend time with them. And then you can't just go traveling around the world because, I mean, you could, each to their own, but I can't. Home is great, like having a place you call home, which is really important, I think.
Yeah.
But now there's all these different people in different places that you really love because they're your friends and they mean so much to you or whatever they are to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just hard.
It is hard. And it's a bit different for you as well because your home is actually really quite far away. How far is it? How long does it take on a flight to get from here to South Africa?
Direct, I think it's 10.
Mm-hmm.
But like the flight that I'm taking is about, I think, 24 hours travel in total just to get here.
Yeah. So once you do it, it's kind of like, it's not so easy to pop back and forth, is it?
No, it's not.
But any regrets?
Absolutely none. Definitely not.
That's what we like to hear. So, are there any opportunities or unlikely or memorable stories that stand out to you that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't have left your home country in the first place?
Yeah. Wow. I would. Yeah.
This is always a really difficult one because everyone's like, everything.
Pretty much. But I was having a conversation with someone back home about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I stayed in SA, I pretty much know what my life would have become
Mm-hmm.
based on, like, the circles I was in my friendship group and the school I went to compared to where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just been so different. And, like, I went and camped up at high alpine lakes and woke up in the morning at like 2,000 meters. And there was a lake there. And we camped there and it was amazing. And I've seen supermoons standing up on a mountain when there's snow behind me and the whole, like, view is just covered in snow and it was amazing. I've been splitboarding and never knew what that was, and that's just fantastic. You have to do that. Yeah, just
so many. Incredible. I haven't interviewed anyone from South Africa before. I can't really think of anyone who I've interviewed off the top of my head who's come from such a different background.
Okay.
I can't think of it. So for me, obviously being from the UK, it's not that far away, you know, it's always just like a short flight. And it was kind of a thing where you knew about ski holidays and things like that, but it wasn't that far away from you if you wanted to go and do it. But actually thinking about the background that you've come from, to go on your first ski holidays, to then see the mountains and then to actually be living in snowy mountains, it's such a different life.
It's really different.
A different world almost.
Completely. I think that's part of, like, why I keep coming back. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself, to be honest. I don't regret anything. I wouldn't change anything or do it over again, regardless of the hardships or whatever I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally the best thing, and I've grown so much because of it.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I had this answer, but now it's just completely gone. But I would say, even when you think that that's not an option and it's a slight part of you wants to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whatever negative things are bringing you down or making you doubt it, just do it. Even if it's like 1/8 of any kind of hope, positive outcome that you think could come of it. Yeah, do it.
Do it. Awesome. Great advice. Great advice.
So random.
Do you have any quotes or sayings that you live by?
Yeah, I think for the past 3 years, there's been one thing that, like, keeps me going and gets me through things. Fail better. It sounds bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And you're nodding because, I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
It does?
It does. Yeah, I've heard it a lot as well, and I believe it is a fantastic thing to live by.
Yeah.
Fail better. But do you want to explain it?
Sure. Like, we're all human. We're not gods. We're not omnipotent. You know, we're never going to be perfect. And it's really silly, say stupid. It's really, really, really stupid if you think that you're going to be great and never make mistakes. Because in life's so fucking boring. Like, sorry, but so boring. But I think one of the things that a lot of us do, and it took me a long time, and I'm still learning to do it, is just accept that you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And you can't be, like, being afraid of it is going to set you back, and you'll fail more. You won't realize it at the time, but you can stop yourself from doing things. It's going to just, like a snowball effect, just get worse and worse. So I think coupled with accepting that failure is pretty normal, it's going to happen, and that you've got to try and look at the things that you learn from that so that you fail better.
Yeah. And then you come out the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah. I totally agree. I love that saying. I love that quote. Fail better and fail faster.
Never heard that. What's that?
If you fail faster, the faster you learn, the faster you get the lesson.
True.
So
But don't hold back.
Don't hold back. Start whatever it is you want to do. Start now. Go do it. If you fail, you fail, but fail better and faster.
I agree with that. I like that. I'm adding that onto my... Yeah.
I don't know if it's wise words.
It is wise words. Well,
at this point. But this is the thing. It's like, if I hadn't have failed a bunch of times the things that I've tried, I wouldn't have a podcast now. I wouldn't be sat here talking to you. I wouldn't be in Mayrhofen. Like, all 100%. Of those things are because I failed at something. It's like when I had the idea to start a podcast, it wasn't about the podcast. Originally, I wanted to start a blog, and I built a website, and I learned to do that, and then I'm talking to someone who codes. I didn't build it. I used a builder.
Which is so much more efficient than doing it, to be honest. That's so, yeah.
But then I started writing blogs and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it was good, but it wasn't something that was getting a lot of traction. So in a way, that was kind of a failure to me. Then I had the idea for the podcast. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I need to leave that behind. That was something I tried, didn't really work. Go to the next thing. And now I've got a podcast, which I really enjoy doing, and people seem to be listening to it. So
I think what you're doing is amazing, and I completely agree with you. Yeah, it's really, yeah. So what you're doing is brilliant.
Thank you. But definitely fail better, fail faster.
100%.
Get in the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting in Austria if I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're away, what do you miss most about your home country?
I'm laughing because this is not the first time I've answered this question. South Africa, there's a word that we use, it's called heers. Yeah, you look at me. What was that? It's like this energy that South Africans have, and the city South Africa has in general. It's like this vibe. I don't know where it comes from, but I miss that. Not just like you go to the supermarket and you strike up a conversation, not like because you're a weirdo and you're just walking up to some random person asking them how they are, but everyone's just like easygoing and just friendly. Not every day, but it's just this some kind of energy that South Africa has that I've never experienced in any of the countries I've ever been to. Super random, but yeah.
That's so cool. And what was the word again?
Heers.
Heers.
G, because of the Dutch Afrikaans thing. Heers.
Heers. That's so cool.
Really weird, but yeah.
What's one myth about Seasonaire life that you would like to debunk?
I think it would be that you have to be young in order to do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, my first season, when I came to Mayrhofen, there were people 20 years older than me, and I don't think it's about age at all. Yeah. I think it helps when you're older as well. There's different bits of wisdom that you can bring along to it, and you live, do different things, but I think it's, you don't need to be young to do it. It's also with age, like, I realized I was chasing this corporate thing at one stage, and then I was chasing all these things that I thought that I should chase, and it wasn't because I wanted to do them, but because of life experiences and getting older, I realized that now I've got to do things that I want to do because I want to, which includes coming back because I love the lifestyle, that freedom sense of like being able to ride when you finish work or in the morning when the whole work opens, which I haven't done, but I should. But all those different things, I think age is, doesn't matter.
Now I have to ask you my mom's favourite question,
So
Marglenda. What's one thing you take everywhere with you when you travel, or do you have any travel hacks?
Travel hacks, yeah. There's a website, I'm sure you know of it, Skyscanner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hack. Well, not really a hack, but if you've got a snowboard bag and you look at an airline and they've got 2 bags, you don't have to pay,
Mm-hmm.
which is brilliant. I'm sure everybody knows that, but everyone should do that. So like hunt down for the flight that has those 2 bags and have to pay like an extra €100 or 2,000 Rand for that extra piece of luggage, which is a gigantic snowboard bag or ski bag, whatever. Maybe it like varies from different airline to airline, but majority of the time every time I've done it,
Really?
you don't have to pay for. Yeah.
Cool. And is there anything that you take everywhere with you when you travel?
A sketchbook, because I draw. So I've got this drawing that I've been working on and I haven't finished it, and it's taken me 5 years. It's very complex, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
my mum will love that. She's an artist.
Is she?
She is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all a bit arty in my family, so.
You have to show me something that you've done.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
I will. I've got an Instagram page. Do you want to see that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'd love to see that.
The handle is Gina Does Art.
I don't know that.
There we go. Now
Brilliant.
everyone knows. Go and check out my art, guys.
Definitely go and check it out.
It's not that
check
good.
It out. Don't put yourself down like that, Gina. Yeah.
Sketchbook. That's such a good idea. Perfect. Overall, what's your biggest lesson learned from living and working abroad?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that I can lean on myself and don't need other people to do anything. It sounds miserable and lonely, but no, but really, like, if I want, you can do anything though. And that sounds so cliche, but I moved across from South Africa, and when I didn't think I'd get a job, when I didn't think I could stay there because I was running out of money, hustled and make it work. Started studying weirdly at 26 and just finished that. Yeah, I think moving abroad gave me that kind of like self-belief and self-worth that I can do it. Yeah.
Is there anything that seasonal life has brought to your current life?
Yeah, the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the relationships and the people. Some of my best friends are from here. I will always have them in my life, no doubt. And they're the best relationships that I've cultivated. And I was thinking about it actually, weirdly enough, this morning, but I don't know if it's because of the same kind of people that do this. I have a very similar mindset, though I am stereotyping, but there's a passion for life that they have. And I don't know what I'm comparing it to, my own experiences, but there's like I wouldn't say happiness, but an elation and a way that people perceive life that's really common. And you can't just make that up. You can't just have all these kinds of people from different parts of the world that are that similar. There's something about it and that's been my life, and I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah. You kind of touched on this earlier, though, I think. If you hadn't have gone and done your first season, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
I'd have like 3 kids, a job, a garden, and a dog. No, I'm joking. But I think, yeah, I would be a very, very different person. Not to say that kind of life is bad, because it isn't. It's just not the life that I want for myself, and I obviously had no choice. But I think I would be chasing a corporate ladder somewhere, because that's the environment that I grew up in. Go to university, do really well, work up to be a manager, like a lot of the people I went to school with, have those high-paying jobs, and great, brilliant. I'm just glad that I did 6 years of traveling Europe before that. So yeah.
If you were in my shoes, what's one question you would have asked that I didn't? That's a hard one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I didn't even think about that.
We can skip it as well.
Okay, so I would ask you a question. Why did you come to Mayrhofen? What's your story? Like, why?
Oh, that is a really big question.
Good.
I feel like we need a whole episode.
Yes.
For that. But I'm gonna give you the short answer, and the long answer will come.
Be a promise. Be a podcast.
It will be a podcast.
Good. We can hear it on here. You've said it. It's gonna be one.
Oh God, yeah, put it out there now. Yes. So the short answer is I did my first season in France.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
In Merwe, in the Trois Vallées.
Brilliant. My sister just went there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Val Thorens is in the Three Valleys, but yeah. France,
same but different.
Is different place, same country.
Okay. Cool.
So I had done a season. This is the short answer, and the cop-out answer is I had done a season in France, and the company I was working for was a tour operator, I was a rep, and they didn't have that position the following year, but they offered me either Mayrhofen or Seoul in Austria.
Okay.
And I looked up Mayrhofen and I looked up Seoul, and I saw Mayrhofen had snow bombing here. And I was like, oh, music festival, that sounds a bit up my street. So I picked Mayrhofen.
Who wouldn't pick that?
Yeah. And there we go. And that's how I ended up here. The long
so
answer
many
goes
things
way
I want to
back.
ask you. You have to do a podcast, you know.
I will. At some point, I will.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Is there anyone you would like to nominate to come on the show and have a chat with me?
Zoe.
Zoe?
Yeah.
My housemate Zoe?
Yeah.
She won't come on.
Why not?
I don't know.
She's got a really cool story.
I know. She won't come on. I've asked her. But I'm glad that you've said it. And now we're putting the pressure on.
Yeah, Zoe needs to come on here.
Zoe G, you have been nominated. She doesn't even listen to the podcast. I live with her. She doesn't
That's
even
another
listen.
reason she has to come on here.
Exactly. So rude. How dare she?
Yeah, very rude. Rude. Zoe.
Anyone else that you would like to nominate?
Yeah, I've got a mate, Holly. I did that. Holly James. She is in Australia now, but she's from New Zealand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Chelsea, what's next for you?
Funny you should ask. It's another nerdy answer. I'm moving to Ireland.
So with that Irish passport you got, you're finally going all the way. Going to be Irish.
To meet the 22 cousins that I've never met, yeah.
22?
I know.
What?
Yeah, my sister, no, that's a lie. My my mum's dad, my granddad is a son of 10.
Oh, wow.
I know, that's where it comes from. Yeah, so there's 22 island people in Ireland that I've never met that are family. Great reunion.
Cool.
No, but to do my master's.
Wow.
I know.
And what are you doing a master's in?
Computer science.
Oh my goodness. That sounds so complicated.
Yeah. Why am I doing this? But yeah.
No, it sounds awesome though. Like, Are you excited? Have you been before?
No, another place I've never been to.
Oh, wow.
So that was spontaneous. Like, I applied to so many different places, and I heard and I was, yeah. So that was where I booked my one-way flight, and I was like, cool, I guess my next flight is to Ireland. That's great. So
wow, that's
it. So I've got to go home and like sell cars and close accounts and things, and then say goodbye to my dog.
Oh,
now, but tie the knot in some instances, and then
wow,
again up in the air. I've been up in the air since I was like 21, not knowing what happens, but it's really cool.
This worked out well.
It's worked out very well.
What's one parting piece of advice for anyone thinking about becoming a Seasonaire or starting a new adventure?
I would just say that to cut out all the wise stuff, all that nonsense emotional talk, it's not as hard as you think it is, and it's not as expensive. You can get jobs that give you accommodation, and you won't be alone. Even if you are extremely introverted, you will meet people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's inevitable unless you don't actually leave your house, which you can't do. But it's probably one of the best things you'll ever do. So go ahead and do it, and do your research, and just email, contact whoever you can. Mm-hmm. Just send emails, make phone calls. It doesn't matter. Just reach out there, because that's what happened to me, and I did it multiple times, and I found my way through it.
Awesome. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming on today and having a chat with me. And good luck in Ireland. And I look forward to spending a little bit more time with you before you go. So thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you for inviting me to come on. It's awesome.
My pleasure. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Such a delight to catch up with Chelsea before she went off on her next adventure. Don't forget to head over to Instagram and give us a follow at That Seasonaire Podcast. And check the show notes below for any information and links relating to today's show. As always, thanks to Mike at Mike's Sports Bar for the studio space, thanks to sponsors Dope Snow, thanks to Mondo Wave for the music, and thanks to you guys for tuning in. See you all again next time. Am I even saying that right? Hopfgarten.
Yeah, you are. Well done. Hopfgarten.
Hopfgarten.
Yeah.
Yeah.